Welcome to Dynamos Dozen, the podcast that I bring you each and every single week, where I talk about whatever may be on my mind, from pro wrestling, sports, entertainment, music, movies, muesli, fresh socks and jocks, and everything in between. Never forgetting the talc. And the man that you see beside me is none other than the best referee on the planet, Ireland's own Mr. Niall Fox. And you could see him laughing there when I do my intro. I always love looking at people's faces when I do the intro because we do have such funny little conversations before. Everything's real calm, and all of a sudden I go into this dynamo mode. It's like the intro.
Fucking promo just put me over. It's like fucking hell. This doesn't happen. It's like no, stop, don't do it.
That's what it's all about, dude. You should be able to put someone over within 10 seconds. If you're not able to put someone over in 10 seconds, leave wrestling. That's just my advice. Not in a wrestling match now. That's a different story. If you're having a 10-second match, you're kind of getting into Honky Tonk Ultimate Warrior territory there, which is...
Bob Backlund.
Yeah. Although Honky put Warrior over in 10 seconds, so there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
But like Bob Backlund and
Diesel. Yeah, on a house show in the garden.
Boom.
Oh, do you remember that back in the day? It was like WWF Mania that was on Saturday mornings. We have breaking news with Todd Pettengill. Diesel is your new WWF Heavyweight Champion. He won the match. What? You were like, what the fuck happened? It was like, yeah, I suppose. So, Foxy, your second appearance here. It's always good to see you. We've obviously known each other a long, long time and remain friends. So we're all happy. We're happy to always happy to catch up with yourself on a show like this and talk about. We're going to do something a little bit different today because we're going to talk about I suppose a mixture of wrestling and I suppose the lack of wrestling. Outside of the two or three, I suppose, main companies. The indie scene is quite, I won't say dead, but obviously quiet at the moment. Dormant would be the correct word, I think. How has it been for you? Because lockdown's been a son of a bitch for so many people. But I know you keep very busy, as you can see your little display in the background, which I'm always happy to see people's stuff. I always like stuff. I'm a big stuff guy, as you know. You've been in my place before, you know.
Yeah.
So you've obviously been
all for sale.
Why don't we jump right into it, man? Let's get on to the business side of things first. Let's make some dollars. So you still have obviously Foxy Bros, yeah. So just explain a little bit about that. Starting off, where people can find you, what we're all about, what you're all about. I'm saying what we are all about. Sorry,
but we the people,
yeah.
Remember that gimmick? Jesus.
Oh, good Lord. Good old fucking Dutch Mantel. He was a hell of a promo, though.
Yes, he was. He was. Foxy Bros is a small business that I set up roughly over about 5 years ago. It was just because I'd go to conventions and obviously like I didn't have money to buy stuff, so therefore I just asked any chance of selling a couple of things, like extra goodies that I had in the house. Worked out well, I'd make a little bit of money, so I kept doing it, and then eventually I just decided, fuck it, let's make this a business and just try to go for it.
Yeah.
I've been going ever since. We started out with comics and bit knickknacks, then started building up the comics, building up the figurines, then started making the pixel art that you see in the background. I've been more focused on the pixel artwork because it's getting me through fucking lockdown.
It's awesome, dude. It's awesome. I can see it there. It's really cool, yeah.
Like, for sanity's sake, it keeps me busy.
Sure, yeah.
But it's nice when I hear like people like it. I mean, I had my first sale in the States just last week.
Well, hey, nice.
I know. They thought, I will say that it was a pure mistake because they thought I was in LA.
Oh.
Because there is a Dublin in LA.
Yeah.
You didn't know that when I said... Because it was funny because when I was trying to arrange the pickup for them to just come and get their stuff, they're like, yeah, that's saying Dublin, Ireland. I'm from the States. I'm like, oh, well, looks like posted is then.
So, yeah, I don't think we'd be meeting.
Yeah, like it was just so weird. It was like, Okay, so we've no choice in the matter. This is posting, but yeah, either way, it's on the way to the States. Whether they've got it is a different story. Thanks to like all the delays and businesses being let let go. But I'm happy about that first international sale. Other
It's nice
than
to
fucking
pop the cherry on the old international sales.
yeah, it's weird.
Mm.
Like so, I'm very proud of that one. But I do be more happy about people's reaction to when they actually get it because a photo or seeing it on camera like you are now is very different to actually seeing it in person
Yeah,
because you don't
yeah.
see nuance or detail. But it's a bit of fun. It's something as a side project just to try and make a bit extra money. Uh, yeah, you can find it on like Foxy Bros retailer on Facebook. You can also find me on Instagram, Instagram / Fox Nile, or yeah, just message me in general on Facebook if you see me, because I'm willing. I just do back and forward, see what you want, do commissions, but
Absolutely,
I
yeah.
can also I also try to get fucking stuff in for people as well, like comics and figurines. God, that is so tough at times, especially when they're out of print.
Oh, it's you see, that's the one. Well, yeah, I suppose I'm glad that you said that there now because I'll probably be hitting you up for that because I've kind of the older I've gotten, I'm kind of more into the paperbacks. I like the paper trade, the trade paperbacks, because obviously you get so much when you go back and you look at back issues and stuff. It's just handier to get, and plus they look nicer on a shelf too. You know what I mean? If
Yes.
they are nice. I've actually got a list here. What have I got? Man, I went crazy over just before Christmas. I got the Epic Collection series of the Fantastic Four. The Name is Doom, the original battle with
Oh,
Doctor Doom
nice,
with Stanley and
nice.
Jack Kirby. This bad boy here got that
Uh,
in the midst of that. Got Preacher. Decided to get into the realm of Preacher because it was recommended to me. So I've got a couple of them. What else did I get? A couple of Preachers, yeah. Got the Deadpool Classic series as well, and Fantastic Four at War with Atlantis as well. So I guess people probably assume I'm a massive Fantastic Four fan, but it's one of those things where I didn't like them when I was younger because I just thought some of the characters were stupid, especially Mr. Fantastic himself, like stretching. But
well, the film was out in the go by, yes.
yeah, exactly. But I'm a big
Oh,
Doctor Doom mark though. Doctor Doom is probably one of my favorite characters, and I think it was his first series that came out last year, wasn't it? It was the Pottersville, and the that series
mm,
is really good for anybody that hasn't heard it. I know the paperback is due out in March, so book
that
two,
could be
should I say?
delayed
Yeah,
depending on the UK, like Diamond UK, or so.
yeah,
Because I know the UK importers are like struggling because the America is not sending them over. So
yeah. Brexit's
UK
starting
can't
to
get it, and we can't.
yeah, Brexit's taking a big effect now, and it's obviously people are struggling to get their stuff in on time and whatnot. But yeah, so I've kind of jumped right back into the old comic books. So I'll probably be hitting you up for things when I can't find them to see if you can
Definitely, like
source it for me.
yeah, and I always try to find the cheapest source possible, but good quality. No way am I skipping out on like the quality.
Well, that's exactly it. Like you get some knockoff shit, or not even knockoff shit, but you can get that. But you've also got like you want them in good quality. I mean, the likes of Book Depository and all is great for books and stuff. Um, and you get some paperbacks on that. But that's not taking business away from you, but they have what they have. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It wouldn't
you know
necessarily.
what you get basically.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm trying to get into I've become such a big Punisher fan because over the last just before Christmas, I finally sat down and watched
And watch the series.
Daredevil. I finally watched it on Netflix because I remember watching the first two episodes when it came out and I got really
Mm.
hooked, but herself wasn't into it. So I was like, oh yeah. And you know the way
Like,
sometimes you leave things on the
for a little while.
shelf?
Yeah,
Yeah. But went from that then to the Punisher. And I probably should have waited to see season two before seeing the Punisher, but it doesn't really matter because you
no,
know,
but like still, like it's a great intro to the character of Frank Castle, like
oh
during
good lord.
Daredevil,
He
because
is the Punisher, isn't he?
he is like John Bernthal.
Yeah.
Ah,
Did you see who his brother-in-law is?
no,
Dude, wait till you hear this. This is gonna blow your mind. What's his name again? John Bernshaw, isn't it?
Burnfall.
Bernthal.
Bernethal.
There we go. There we go. So I want to get this right. It's gonna blow some people's mind. I like him anyway because I like the character Shane in Walking Dead. I always thought he looks like a real badass. You know what I mean?
He's a heel. He's a proper heel.
Oh, he's a proper heel, man, and everyone that knows me knows that I'm a fan of the heel. You more than anybody, Foxy.
Mr. Steal Your Girl and like try to like take over your whole family. Yeah.
Well, that's not me now. He's speaking about Shane here now.
Yeah, sorry.
I never did this back in the day. We played the fifth on that one. I don't know. I don't think. Did you ever ref any of my matches? No, you didn't. Probably were training in the ring together. I'm sure many occasions, but
yes.
Yeah, no. So get ready for it, guys. Kurt Angle is John Bernthal's uncle-in-law. True story. He's married. He's married to Erin Angle, the niece of Kurt Angle.
Jesus.
And there's some really cool pictures if you go onto Google and you can see like the two boys like at like Christmas parties together and all just hanging out. I was like, there's two men that you don't want to fuck with.
Especially now, Kurt Angle now. God damn.
He is Jack. He's ripped. Like he's ripped. It's great to see. But yeah, I mean, he is Frank Castle's. So much so that I have a couple of books on the way of the Punisher Max series. I've heard they were pretty good.
It's very good.
So I'm interested in checking them out. What would be some of your favorite comic books of all time? Your favorite series, I suppose, if you want to say, rather than issues.
I always tend to go. I didn't when I was younger, but like as I grew up, I tended to veer toward Elseworld stories.
Okay.
Like stories of so for DC they have Elseworld, whereas like Marvel they'll have like alternate universes or whatever.
Yeah.
But for me, Elseworld, it was like a retelling of like what if Batman became Green Lantern, or what if Superman became Batman.
Oh,
or
nice.
that nature. Or another one that falls under that is Batman Dracula or Red Rain.
Ooh.
Basically, it's a three-part story where first part is basically Dracula comes to Gotham, Batman has to fight him.
I'm already sold, man. Dracula's like my favorite. I love it.
The second part is the aftermath of that, and third part is the aftermath of the middle part. But I'm not saying it because like it will spoil. It is heavily spoiled if I say anything.
Dude, shoot me a link on them, will you? Shoot me a link on them because I would be.
The artwork is done so well. Like as far as I remember, it's Kelly Jones.
Oh yeah.
Artwork and
one of the best in the game.
Their iteration, I just love their iteration of Batman. Like their way of drawing it, and the story itself. Like it shouldn't resonate so well, but it's just like that is a good story. Like start middle, like it's solid writing kind of thing.
Yeah.
Even though it's a comic book, it's supposed to be like cheesy and out there, but it's very solid. Same with Nightfall. Nightfall is a great storyline for Batman.
Yeah.
That's the story of Bane finally breaking Batman.
Yeah.
And then the aftermath of that going forward. But it's a good storyline. I'm a big Batman fan, but at the same time, I do tend to read others, whether it be on the Marvel or otherwise. Walking Dead, I got into for a good while. Then I think I got up to like issue 100, which is the infamous Negan appearance.
Oh yeah.
And then for some reason I just stopped. So now when you just put it down for a bit and then go back to it
all the time, dude. Yeah.
It's weird. I do that with TV shows all the time. But
same. It's I think there's 2 TV shows there that I've finished recently, like thoroughly true and true. It was obviously, I mean, I was early to the party with Cobra Kai, so a lot of these newbies actually kind of annoy me on Facebook. Oh, did you see Cobra Kai? And I'm like, dude, I was watching it on YouTube. Like, no one gave a shit.
It's one of those like weird shows that like I can't
stumbled across.
I haven't tried it. No, I haven't tried it. Like I knew it started out on YouTube before like it got picked up by Netflix, but like even without that, I was just I'm I like the old films, but I don't see myself really watching this series. I do love the fact that it's a continuation of it and it's a new perspective, but it's not something that grabs my attention that much.
That's fair.
And
That's fair.
especially when people overhype it as well, because they all get on the same train at the same time.
Yeah,
So when they
yeah.
overhype it, I just don't want to go near it at all.
Give
It
it
was
a
the
give it a
same.
while. Give it a while, and then
Breaking
maybe
Bad.
go to it. Yeah, when it calms down a bit. What about The Boys, man? I watched that.
That's been heavily recommended to me. It's in my list of
Oh,
stuff to watch.
dude,
I'm looking forward to it.
I would recommend that wholeheartedly, especially for you. That would be right up your street. I mean, I was like, when I read the premise of it and whatnot, and I saw the narrative, I was like, I don't know, like, is it going to be a cheaply made Amazon Prime show, or is it going to be good? And my brother just said, dude, this is right up your street. Like, basically heel superheroes. You know what I mean? It's almost like a story within a story. It's like it's almost a depiction of what we see in real life. You know what I mean? Politicians being the nice, smiley, white meat baby
Yeah,
face, but then behind the closed doors, they're just the biggest heel you've ever met in your life. So
the premise of it, like superheroes that are bought up by corporations and
exactly,
they're all in it for the money and the fame,
yeah.
as opposed to just doing it for the sake of it.
Oh,
And
it's
they're all like,
incredible.
but also the fact that like, how do you fucking put them in place? It's like you have to get a team together to fucking do it. It's like
It's fantastic,
I,
man. It's
I like the
fantastic.
idea of it. I do
Yeah.
like the idea, and then Carl Urban being in the role as well.
He's
I love
fucking
Carl Urban.
awesome, man. Do you know what? I actually said, when you watch this show and you see him with the big beard and the fucking scars on his face, and he's like, yeah, you can't, he's just such bad word. Like he just uses so much profanity, and the see you next Tuesday being his favorite. Like, and it's so, I think he'd be a great show for Wolverine, personally.
Yeah,
I,
yeah. Instantly when I seen the picture of him with the facial hair and the
yeah,
hair, yeah, you definitely look the part. And he's worked with Marvel before, so
yeah.
it wouldn't be out of place for them to recast him as someone else.
He's ideal.
Like
Don't forget, like Captain America was once,
Johnny
the
Storm.
Human Torch, yeah. So
Yeah.
I think it would be a great show for Wolverine, because he has that legit rugged look. He has the aged look, but he's a good looking guy as well. Do you know what I mean?
He kept
Um,
himself in good nick before it, like so. So
yeah,
you kind of, it's one of those you kind of question his age. It's like, nah, he has to be like older, like, and he is like he's a lot old. Like what you think he is, he's probably either just below it or just above it.
yeah. What is he, like 50 or something?
He's close to it, I think, or he is 50, one or the
Yeah,
other.
can't
That's what I
remember.
mean. Like his age, he has that where he
48.
can,
Yeah, you're right.
yeah,
48. So you're actually right. Just below, just above, just
yeah.
above.
Like
Yeah,
another example of that is Jared Leto. Jared Leto is another example of that
yeah.
guy that does not fucking age.
Oh,
Like
it's a
dude
bit
is
like myself,
50 and he's just like, what? There's no way you're 50.
Yeah,
No,
drinking from the
it's like
fountain
Ned
of youth.
Flanders of fucking acting. It's just like, what?
Is he 50?
Yeah,
Good Lord. Oh, then, yeah, he's 49. Good Lord. He's a year older than Carl Urban. That's crazy. But then again, when you think about it, that motherfucker has been around forever. It's
yeah.
like, when you see a football player or someone and you're like, is that guy still playing? And you forget that they were like a child prodigy almost. You know what I mean? That they
Mm.
started really young. And yeah, that's mad now. That's one
And you
that.
go back through like the films that he's been in, you're just like, he's in that.
Yeah. Yeah,
Hang
yeah.
on, he's in Fight Club. He's in fucking American Psycho. He's
He
in
is. Yeah.
Alexander. He's in
He is in Alexander,
Alexander
yeah.
Deadly. The old Colin Farrell. But
That was
like
so
he's
bad.
in Panic Room. Like he's in loads of different films that he just pops up in.
Yeah.
It's like Requiem for a Dream is another example. Like that'd be one of his hits, basically.
Yeah. And
Where
then
it's like,
he's obviously in a band as well. Isn't his band 30 Seconds
yeah,
Mars or something? Yeah.
yeah,
That's madness. And then obviously his breakout performance in obviously Dallas Buyers Club, he was just incredible in that. I was actually, do you know what was so creepy about that? I was waiting for him to appear. I was like, when is Jared Leto in this? I was expecting, like, I was told he's in this. And someone goes, that's him. I was like, what?
that's how like in depth. Like he was also Oh, Mark Davis Chapman. He was the assassination of John Lennon.
Oh, right. I haven't seen that, but he's in that as well, is he?
He is Mark Davis Chapman. He actually went
Okay.
through a full body transformation where he put on a serious amount of weight to look the part.
So he
And he
got
was
into the method acting, right? He obviously got into the
mad
method
into the
acting.
method acting.
Yeah. Yeah, these boys are fucking. People talk wrestlers being crazy. These method actors are super crazy, man. Like, I mean, Christian Bale being the top of the heap in terms of
No. They pale in comparison to fucking like Daniel Day Lewis, the master of fucking.
Oh, well, look, I mean, I think Christian Bale is definitely, like, in my opinion, the best modern one. But yeah, Daniel Day Lewis is serious. I mean, that's a boy who lives down in Wicklow and doesn't even take roles. Like, I mean, did you ever hear the famous story of when they were doing Gangs in New York? And
Which one?
basically, Leo and who was the director again? Fucking
Scorsese?
yeah, I think it was Scorsese. Yeah, I think was it Scorsese? I think it was. We'll find it out as we're talking. But that's the great thing about Google, isn't it?
Yeah.
um,
Google
so
Magic.
yeah, you're 100% correct. It was Scorsese. So he basically said, "Look, I don't even want to read the script. I'm not interested. I'm retired. You know what I mean? I don't want to do it." So Scorsese and DiCaprio actually flew over to Ireland and went down to Roundwood and Wicklow, where he lives, and knocked at his door and said, "You need to read this script. Like, we're not leaving until you fucking have a look at it while we're here. Like, at least give us that
Yeah.
courtesy after flying over." So he read it, and apparently he took it. And that role as the butcher, oh my god, it's such an incredible performance. I mean, one of those performances where you go, "Whoa, that man is fucking dangerous." You know what I mean? And you legitimately believe that this guy's a fucking psychopath.
Some of the
Um,
characters that he's played over the years. I mean, like
Christy
obviously, like
Brown, yeah.
yeah, I was about to say because like if you're from Ireland, you know Christy Brown and My That Foot, like, and that's Daniel Day Lewis. He
He
did a
trained
fantastic.
himself to draw and paint and write with his left foot, like.
Yeah.
Like, you don't just go and fuck you. Hey,
There's no
I want to
camp
do it.
you go to like learn this stuff. Like
Yeah.
he just taught himself to do it. It's like how?
Did you see Joe Rogan talked about him actually before? And like, he actually learned how to make shoes, like old. That's an old craft.
Craftsman.
Yeah, it's just, man, what a super super talent. One of the probably the best actor of all time, up there with the likes of probably. I mean, you could probably put Brando up in that bracket as well. When you go back and look at his body of work, you can see that it's not ill warranted that people talk about Brando being up at that top echelon. But I mean, Daniel Day Lewis has to go down as the greatest, in my opinion. Anyway, I think we're both in agreement with that.
Like it's the top name when you think of like method actors and just like if you're looking for like all right from the modern era like in recent years like obviously people are gonna really like jump on the Joaquin Phoenix
Mhm.
or the likes of even Jim Carrey to a degree. Jim Carrey
Yeah,
is fantastic.
Jim can act. I mean, Jesus H Christ. I mean, the Joaquin Phoenix one, they're kind of. I think everyone jumped on that just because of the Joker, really, because obviously that was such a big performance.
Little did they realize it's like he's already been doing this for
Yeah,
years and years, like
yeah,
with other characters.
yeah,
I just remember. I always remember my first introduction to him, like the actor himself is like Gladiator.
yeah.
It's like what a Weasley dickhead. I
He
hate
was
him.
such a weasel. Yeah, I'd say the guy Gleason had a look at that when he was doing Game of Thrones as well. Like whenever he was the son. What was his
Yeah.
name? Uh,
Yeah.
oh, good lord.
Oh fuck.
I know.
Yeah.
Damien Gleason is his name, isn't it?
Which one?
His name is it Damien Gleason is his actual name.
Donald
Uh,
Gleason or Damien?
no, it's not Damien Gleason anyway, but it is Gleason. But either way, like that was such a that was such a good role, like such a good role, and he obviously is it Gleason? I thought it was. Either way, we all know who I'm talking about. The Weasley son that takes the throne in Game of Thrones for a while, and
yes.
he's a little fucking snake. Yeah, that was that. I would say definitely he looked at Joaquin Phoenix's performance in Gladiator and had a little bit of a roundabout way,
Yeah.
kind of took a few little tips, we'll say.
Like people forget that as well. Like with it's Jack Gleason. Jack Gleason.
Jack Gleason, there we go.
Yeah, he studies at Trinity College. He
Yeah.
also did the little do people know, like he was the kid in Batman Begins.
No way.
Yes.
Holy shit. Really?
Yeah, there you go. Next time you watch Batman Begins, just watch out, like the kid, that's him.
Oh wow. Shit, that's mad,
Yeah.
isn't it? I'll have to check that out again now, yeah, just to
And
see that.
then
That's mad.
what was it? He also did an appearance for. He did a wrestling show like last year. Not like sorry, I say last year. I mean 2019. Trinity Brawl.
Oh yes. Yes, I
He did.
remember. Yeah.
It was only because it was being held in Trinity College, and he was studying there. That's how they got him.
Yeah, like that's actually, I do remember that now. The more you're talking about it, I was trying to rack my head why I saw him like in a picture with like pizza and all that, and I was like, where's that from? So that was it. Speaking
He
of
was
wrestling, I suppose we would be
marking
remiss.
out who was. It's like I'm with Joffrey.
Yeah, we'd be remiss without talking about a little bit of wrestling, I suppose, before we do kind of continue on, or the lack thereof, I suppose, this year. In terms of, obviously, WWE have done a great job in keeping it going. Not necessarily a great job on the ratings or anything like that. AEW is kind of
or their countermeasures to the current like global bastard.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's kind of like one of those things where you're like, oh, even in a pandemic, you still can't get the storyline right. There's no balance there. Yeah, there's no balance, exactly. Whereas AEW are still kind of doing their things, yeah, quietly but surely. There's some good parts. There's some really bad parts. Like FTR. Yeah, FTR.
Comes to AEW, and it's a shame because they do have a heap of talent at their disposal. It's just obviously, and I find that with the current like global like pandemic, it's and not having a proper crowd, it's very hard to gauge who your next up and coming stars are because you've nothing to really compare it to. You just have a handful of people in the crowd, and like they're probably like the crew or maybe one or two of the family members.
Yeah.
So it's not a genuine response,
No,
which is a shame.
No, it's
I mean, work rate won't always like win out over an actual charisma and character that's needed for it.
Absolutely. Like, look, a case in point is the likes of Cesaro and all. Do you know what I mean? You're talking about work rate. There you go. There's your guy. Yeah. But I mean, I look at certain people in AEW and I'm optimistic for sure. I'm optimistic as well. I hope Tony Khan kind of learns that he's not Vince McMahon and takes a little step back as well. And I don't mean that. I mean that with the utmost respect because, look, he's passionate about it. He's kind of like the Roman Abramovich of wrestling in a lot of ways. You know what I mean? He's come in and he's bought this new company and he's passionate about it. But I mean, when you have all these guys at your disposal behind the scenes like Jake Roberts and Arn Anderson and Dean Malenko and so on and so forth, I believe Steamboat might be in there soon if he's not already. Listen to these guys, you know what I mean? These aren't no offense, but these aren't Kevin Sullivan here, like your matchmaker, you know what I mean? These are proven world stars in numerous companies. So I think that's one thing that they can learn. But I think the reason I give AEW the benefit of the doubt is that they are new. This is only their second year, if I'm not correct, right? It's their second year.
Yeah. Their second year.
Your old boyfriend Cody, like no, in fairness, we should actually give a shout out to and say that Cody did actually offer to kind of help out OTT during this pandemic as well. So I thought that was a great gesture as well. And as Foxy said on the last show, a lot of it was kind of much about nothing as well. Do you know what I mean? I think the fans kind of ran with it more than anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, as I said before, I didn't say a thing. Like
exactly.
It wasn't like I'm disgruntled, so I'm gonna go to social media. No, look, that happens. Yep. It's happened to me 50 odd times before that.
Exactly.
So on the same show, so it's nothing new. It just happens to be that it was Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, exactly. You didn't have the pleasure of having someone like Dynamo in there who respects the referee and listens to the referee, and you know what I mean? Doesn't cheat or anything like that, you know, just respects authority.
I know someone who did something very similar, and I will admit that I found it extremely funny
Right.
when because it was posted in a meme format, and
Yeah.
I thought brilliant. I will hopefully, if I still have it, I will forward it to you later.
Please
But
do. Please do.
it,
Yeah.
it's not for the public viewing,
No,
as
no.
it, well, it's hilarious.
It's just for me. I like that. I like that. Um, yeah, but I think, you know, Cody's a hell of a worker. I think we're starting to see his stock rise as well.
He's
And
got
rightly
himself.
so.
He's beefing up. He's going for heavyweight now.
Oh, he is, man.
Noticeable.
He's looking shit hot. His brother Dustin just gets better with age. He's like a fine wine. That man just has to be given all the kudos
Very.
in the world. But then we look at, I mean, we're talking about rising stars, and it's hard to gauge through the crowd. I mean, Orange Cassidy isn't going to be your guy. No offense to him, because I think Jericho's done a great job in trying to get a little bit of character out of him there. And I think anybody that works with Jericho is better off for it. Even if the likes of Cornette think Jericho's being goofy, I think there's a lot of method to that madness. I think MJF is a breakout star for sure. I think that's,
without a doubt.
you know, we know this. We know this.
Made basically star. Like it's
Yeah.
just a case of like, don't know. He works better when he has a crowd to really like.
Yes, absolutely.
It's
I think Hangman
he's a
Page,
heel, and he loves it. He revels in it.
oh, he loves it, man. Hangman Page, for me, is my tip to be one of their guys, especially going long term. The guy, he's a great looking guy. He's got the fucking hair, he's got the physique, he's got the look, and he can certainly work his ass off in the ring. They need to just get rid of this stupid alcoholic kind of character. Like, have him drink beer and drink whiskey because he is a cowboy, and that's what cowboys do. Cowboy shit, as they say. But would you agree with me there? Do you think do you think he's just a little bit of fine tuning away from being a kind of a breakout star once crowds come back?
Yes, like if anything, like he's basically there. It's just the fact that like at the moment they're just buying time
Yes.
because
Yeah.
in fairness, like you don't want to blow like essentially 2 years of building
Sure.
for the sake of a no fans fucking show. You
Imagine
want that to happen.
WWE. Imagine WWE did that. You know what I mean?
Long
So
term,
you,
good
yeah.
luck.
So you got to give Tony Khan some credit. I'm interested to see. We both know you're going to get a kick out of this one. We both know that I've been very, very critical over one Kenny Omega over the years and the Young Bucks. I'm kind of getting behind it. I like the kind of just bastard kind of attitude of him, you know, just the snideness of him as a heel. I think this could really be his opportunity to get over with the American audience as a heel. I think having Don Callis there as his mouthpiece is a great idea because, to be honest with you, I think, you know, Corny gets Uncle Corny gets a raw deal for a lot of things, but I do agree. I mean, for Corny to say that Kenny Omega can't work is just utter nonsense. So we'll get away from that one. But in terms of I do agree with slowing things down a little bit. I'd like to see the slow pace a bit more. Not everything has to be a million miles an hour. He's a good enough worker that you could see.
And you get more longevity if he cut
Yes.
down like big spots. Now, granted, like unfortunately, that's his thing. It's been bred into him now that I have to do this. I have to hit these particular spots because that's what got me over. No, you don't. People know what you can do. So fucking slow down. Slow down.
Exactly.
Let them wait. Let them wait. You'll hit the odd fucking. You'll probably hit the V trigger or you'll hit the fucking the big dive over the top, which is the one pet peeve I have of indie wrestling in general. We don't need 50 dives in a show.
Exactly,
And we
dude.
don't need everyone just because you can dive over the top rope with no assists doesn't mean you should.
That's it, dude. That's it, dude. And look, you as a referee, you've seen this a million times, whether in and you know, we're not going to name companies, but you've seen it like just a million times in your years of being in the business. And you know, you've got that group of guys waiting outside, like kind of pretending with the little pussy whipped punches, like knowing what's coming next, and then going, like, I'll never forget, like, and I don't. He's too nice a guy to call out on a podcast, to be fair, so I won't say it. But I was at I was at one of the shows, the OTT shows. You know, I've appeared in the front row every now and then, just to show the face and say hello. And I'm always one of those guys that can get the handshake from the heel on the way, and I'm always proud of that. I'm like, yeah, there you go. we know each other's kind. But no, I think there was a particular wrestler who like came to the outside and he knew the dive was coming, and he goes to me, "Move over, wink, wink, move over." And like he didn't know me from Adam because it was one, it was a foreign talent.
Yeah.
And I kind of went, dude, that's stupid. You know what I mean? Don't tell me that. Do you know what I mean? I understand, or just don't do that then. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm sick of this. Like, we all know it's a work. Of course, we know that now. But if we can do what we can just to give some sort of element of kayfabe, it would go a long way, I think, to benefiting all of us in the future. I don't know whether you agree with that or disagree. It's just how I feel about the business, and that's just my own honest opinion.
Like with it, like in terms of like, all right, a dive is coming. Okay, we know it's inevitable. Like, it especially depend on the talent that's in the ring. You know, like their repertoire involves this particular spot. But he shouldn't have told you to get out of the way. That's up to not only the runners, but also common sense for the people in the crowd. If you're in the front row, it's potentially a dive zone, so you better be ready to move.
Damn straight. Damn straight. And if you get a kick in the head, so what? That's just how I see it. You can tell I'm not running. You can tell I'm not running a company anytime soon. All sorts of fucking lawsuits filed.
Like, we don't want that happening, but at the same time, it's like it will happen eventually. Like, someone is going to be fucked in the face. It's just the way it is.
It's just the way it is. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
Well,
I think.
Yeah, shouldn't have told you. It does kill the so-called kayfabe that we have. Like, certain things are still kayfabe, but like that's not.
No, and it's not. And I was like, for me, of all people, like that he ends up right in front of, it's me that's ready to pick him apart and go, motherfucker, what are you?
There, don't move.
I should have fucking stomped him. Should have stomped him. No, he's a nice guy in fairness, and that's why I won't.
Just throw the worker punch. Like, there you go.
Yeah, and be like, yeah, I know, yeah. But no, in fairness, that's what I say. He's a nice guy. I wouldn't throw anyone under the bus like that. That's the difference. Do you know what I mean? But I think, I'd agree. I suppose moving on from wrestling, I do agree. I think Kenny Omega's one to keep an eye on, and I think especially as a heel now, if he can slow things down. When you're a heel, you want those. Stone Cold Steve Austin made lots of money from doing nothing. You know what I mean? And that's not a disrespectful comment I'm saying, but like stomps and punches and the odd spot in there. That's it, dude. That's it. I think he could benefit from having a program with Cody over the course of months, to be fair. Because, I mean, we look at the best wrestling matches that have happened since AEW's inauguration, and they both involved Cody. One with Dustin, and then obviously one at All In. Was it All In? Yeah, that was the show before the show, where they all got together, and he wrestled Nick Aldis, which was a fantastic match. So I just want to see the guys work more, and I'm sure you're the same.
Obviously, like with Omega, like, and with the current gimmick that he's doing where he wants to be the real world champion, like, I'm happy that Impact are kind of like benefiting from this.
Me too, yeah.
But I'm also excited about the possibility of them restoring their relationship with New Japan, and therefore potentially down the line we have Omega versus Kota Ibushi.
Yeah, and Okada again. I want to see Okada in there with some of the guys. You know what I mean? I mean, I've been a big fan of that guy for a long time.
If you're looking for because if you're taking Omega's current gimmick, he's gone the collector. He's coming in to clean up everything.
Sure.
It's like he's gonna eventually they're gonna cross paths eventually. That's what I'm excited about. But whether they do it is a different story. But I'm happy with how it's going about. We may still see that. If not that, then we will see other people probably cross over.
I think so. I think so. And I think based off that, actually, that's a really exciting prospect, actually. And based off that, I do like the idea of AEW doing what WCW done back in the day with the New Japan crossover, because this was all preliminary to the NWO as well. And if nothing else during that time, we got to see some incredible matches. I mean, you got to see the likes of Brian Pillman in there with the likes of Yushin Thunder Liger, which was just incredible. And I think one match. Here's a match for you that, well, it definitely would have me salivating. I'd love to see Cody in there against against the Rainmaker. I would like to see that. I think that would be so. I'd love to see the crossover of styles too, because obviously,
Mm.
it's
And
something.
a completely different Cody at this point because, like as I said earlier, he's trying to make heavyweight, and
Yes,
it's clearly shown like in his physique, he's clearly getting bigger and bulkier. But imagine putting him against Okada now, like it's just a case of like that's a different monster. Like,
yeah, yeah, and it's money. Like it's money.
oh
Um,
wow, before they've even locked horns, it's instant
Huge
money.
money,
But
huge money. I'll give you this one, right? This is just something that came to my head. I'm going to spitball with you. If you could take any wrestler, right, and don't, well, I'll leave it up to you. If there was one guy from, say, the NXT roster in WWE or WWE, the main roster, who would you like to see from that roster go into AEW that you think they could,
oh,
would have a new lease of life?
um, I think it'd be a fair show and bit obvious as well. Uh, Aleister Black will be a great. He's not doing that at the moment.
I was going
Like
to say
the
Finn Balor. I'd love to see Balor in there.
he's like well, I think he's perfectly happy to stay in WWE.
Oh
But
yeah, no, I know that. I
uh,
know that. I'm just thinking of more of the, the potential,
mm,
matches and being able to have that creative freedom, I suppose.
but
Which
also I'm still like I'm actually loving Finn's work at the moment, so
true.
I don't. That's why I
That is
don't
true.
consider needing to jump over to
No, that
somewhere
is
else.
true. That is true.
Like keep him on NXT. That's where like he wants to be. And personally, I like watching him on NXT rather than the main roster.
Who doesn't?
But
Yeah.
Aleister Black, I could definitely see getting a new lease on life if he left WWE and went somewhere else. Um, by not only that, like if you're kind of doing like a trade off like between like the promotions, yeah, Aleister Black is definitely one to go to AEW. Whereas like if you're sending someone from AEW to WWE, you could easily get I'm just trying to remember like because there's so as I said earlier, there's so many on the roster for AEW, it's hard to keep track of them, like who's still
Yeah.
with them. But
That's a good
you
question,
could
actually. I'm thinking too. Because I mean, MJF is already set up there. Hangman is already set up there. They're set up to be future stars. They're not going to pick any of the, they're not going to pick any of the kind of circus acts like Marco Stunt or anything like that. So
no.
I just have to
But
get a
if
Marco
they
Stunt
want
job
a
in there. Sorry,
legitimate star, they will.
you
Like if
what?
they'd want a legitimate star, if they're going to be signing people, they'd want someone that they can definitely make money from.
That's a
Uh,
harder one. That's a harder one than
mm,
someone going to AEW. Maybe we'll come back to that later and
mm,
see if we can think of something.
yeah.
I suppose in kind of as we kind of wind down, in terms of obviously your business is keeping you going, which is great to see. I love seeing people kind of make chicken salad out of chicken shit, which is what we're in at the moment. With the pandemic and the lockdown. Um, and we know it will all, hopefully it'll be 2022. This will be properly behind us. And I think that's when we're really going to see, I
We'll
suppose
see.
some normality, I suppose. In terms of things that you're looking forward to this year, obviously we've got some cool stuff coming up in terms of sports and movies and stuff like that. It's going to be a huge Marvel fucking outlay in 2021 in terms of shows, and with the Disney Plus app is really kind of now starting to gather momentum. Yeah, it's starting to gather some real momentum, and then with the shows and the movies that they have planned, well, 2021 is going to be good. Obviously, next week you have Conor McGregor fighting again, which is, whether we like him or not, or whatever way people feel about it, it's always box office, because people either want to see him get his ass whooped or people want to see him win. So there is.
There's someone who definitely lends himself to wrestling.
Oh, dude, it's gonna
Like,
happen eventually. It will.
like he can talk, so you can put him in front of a crowd, like give him a mic, and that's like he'll hype you up. But like when it comes to delivering the goods, he can. Like he looks the part, and he can he definitely has legitimacy in his
And he could
ability.
beef up as well. In fairness, we've seen him,
Yeah.
get stocky. He can definitely get up to like say the Finn Balor size anyway in terms of.
What was the heaviest he was? I can't remember the.
What is he? He's
Was,
5'9", so I think the
was
heaviest
what,
he got to was
featherweight
about
and then went up to
180. 180 maybe. I heard he was walking around that, but when he was off there, remember he was off. And in fairness, he was looking a lot stockier. He had big arms, big shoulders, big chest. I think he got to about 180. I mean, listen, like we just mentioned there in NXT, the likes of Finn Balor walking around at 190. Like, I mean, that's a legitimate weight. Do you know what I mean? And he's in shape. So, and listen, Vince McMahon will be salivating at the prospect of having McGregor on a WrestleMania or something like that. Money, big money, like. So that's good. I suppose this is a good way to kind of close off. This has got to be the year where fans finally see CM Punk back in a ring somewhere, right? Because I mean, we've seen him talk about it. He's on Renee Young's podcast as well, saying, "Look, it's actually, even though I say I'd like a big bag of money thrown at me, first and foremost, it's just got to be something that hooks me in, like, you know what I mean?" And I think AEW would be the only place that could really give him something that would do that. Exactly.
Yeah.
That creative freedom. I mean, imagine seeing Punk getting in there with someone like an MJF or something. You know what I mean? Or
by that same token, you have to okay, he has said that it's not necessarily about the money, it's about having something that he can sink his teeth into. But it's only as good as the partner you're doing it with.
Sure.
So you really have to have him against someone that not only can deal with him on the mic, but also in the ring, whether it be to be on his pace or to carry him if need be.
Yeah.
To a really good match. So
I think
that's
Kenny Omega is a good show for that. I mean, Kenny Omega with Don Callis as his mouthpiece. I mean, you could see that kind of working out. I think MJF, right?
I think MJF is a safe bet.
Definitely.
It's definitely a safe bet because you can.
Definitely.
Punk comes in, he's definitely going to be the biggest babyface you ever seen.
Oh yeah.
MJF can be the biggest dickhead, which he loves. So that's a natural made rivalry. But if you're trying to go the opposite route, it's just who do you really put him against? Because like Punk works best as a heel.
Cody. There you go.
Yeah, Cody definitely flip flop between like face and heel. So yeah, he would actually be a fair shot.
Yeah, Cody, I think would be good to see a program.
You could even do it where it involves Dustin, where like he could go after Dustin to get the Cody.
Yeah,
something along those lines.
I like this kind of fantasy booking with the best referee on the planet, and the best referee hairdo on the planet too. Look at that slick back mop. I love it. Look at that. No lockdown hair issues for old Foxy here.
Wow.
So I suppose in closing, you should plug again. Give us a little bit more on Foxy Bros, where people can find you, and what kind of stuff they can avail of, and what you do, and then obviously talk a little bit about the podcast on YouTube as well, because you are on YouTube too. So
yes, yeah, Foxy Bros, foxybros.retailer on Facebook and Instagram /Fox Niall. You'll see most of my pixel artwork on Instagram. Whereas like on Facebook, it'll be more comics, figurines, a bit of pixel art. And if you're looking for comics or whatever, just message. Or if you're looking for a commission for the pixel art, message. We'll do it back and forward. See if I can do it or if I can get it in for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's Foxy Bros, which transitions to because I wanted to keep on brand. I was just like,
oh yeah,
I'm too lazy to get another logo made. So the Foxy Bros podcast that's available on Spotify. It's available on YouTube on the Nerds Are Us channel. Nerds Are Us channel is basically a YouTube channel that I do with three others. We do a range of different shows, kind of like the Dynamo Network, where we do talk about comics. So we do gameplays where we rip into the as commentary, or we do one of the shows that I really enjoy like doing is Watch Graps with Me. Basically, when we have guests on, they pick the theme, we all pick our matches, and we either we'll watch it, but we'll fucking rate after, and the winner wins bragging rights, as it were.
That's all you need to win. Yeah, that's all you need to win.
It's more just for nostalgia and a bit of fun because like you start becoming more creative about what matches that you want to watch. So like a recent episode that we did, hopefully it should be available by just before this comes out. It was the best worst gimmicks, and it's so like obviously you can take that premise and okay, what would be a bad gimmick? Is it a bad gimmick for a person, bad gimmick match, bad like, and just see what you think. But it was a good bit of fun. Hopefully, check that out when it drops.
Yeah.
The YouTube channel. It's just also for sanity as well. Like
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
of our most one of our most popular shows on the channel is we actually sit down and watch Fact or Fiction,
Okay.
the show, and we try to guess which is true or false.
That's cool.
But
I like that.
but it's just us ripping into it as well during it, and it's just fun. Like
That sounds
it,
good, dude. That sounds good. I'll wait for the invite on one of those shows. Actually, that sounds like a lot of fun. In fairness, no, that's cool. And what I'll do is I'll obviously when this show is posted, you'll be able to find the links in the description below as well. We'll post the links there too. Just hit the like and subscribe button. Niall, been an absolute pleasure, and no doubt, we will talk again. And we will definitely have you on again. I like shooting the shit with you when we're talking about different stuff as well. Just give people, 40 minutes to an hour of just taking our mind off, the bullshit reality that we are in at the moment. So, it's been a pleasure, and I do thank you for taking the time out again. And obviously, stay safe as always. And
wear a mask. Wear a mask.
Wear a mask. Yeah. Don't have to do it at home now because we're not. We're socially distanced, as we can see, so we're okay. We're actually right beside each other. No, but yeah. This is the studio. But look, once again, my friend, it's been a pleasure.
Yes, it has. Thank you again for having me. As you said, it's very fun to come on these. I just enjoy doing them.
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, be sure to like and subscribe to the Dynamo Podcast Network. Be sure to follow the links below, and hit up Foxy Bros, hit up Niall if you need anything at all in the world of comics, anime, figures, or whatever it may be. Just send him a message, and I'm sure he will be able to source you. He's like Red from the Shawshank Redemption. He's the man who knows how to get things. So until next week, that is until next week, that is all for Dynamo's Dozen, and for Niall Fox, and for Ian Dynamo Kelly. Dynamo's Dozen is over and out.